this is Pyroclasm for Split Infinity Radio, bringing you another replay for StarCraft 2. This is going to be a 1 versus 1, and it is going to be on Metalopolis. We have got Sean spawning as our red Zerg, and just across from him, as the blue Terran, is Krazed, one of our listeners who sent this replay into me. Thank you very much, Krazed. You know what? I think I'm going to take this opportunity to let you guys know that if you have a replay that you want to send in, go ahead and fire it off to dominion@siradio.fm. Send it in there, and I will get that on air as, well, not on air, but on YouTube and recorded as fast as humanly possible. Starting to get into a bit of a rhythm with these things. So our Zerg player starting a very quick scout, making his way across the map. Unfortunately for him, it's going in the complete wrong direction, and getting some very, very early gas. So before the spawning pool even pops out, and our Terran player Krazed starting his wall in, just to try and keep things from getting too hairy, just in case we've got a 6 pool on the way. So this is on a map that was, or this is a game that was played before the 1.1 patch, so it's still got some of the older balance stuff in there with the faster Marines, the faster Reapers, the faster Zealots, and of course the lack of a siege tank nerve, and the complete and total lack of the broken Ultralisks. For the week that was happening, that was absolutely glorious. So nice positioning of the Overlord just over top of the ramp for the Zerg player. Just gives him a little bit of eyes on anything that might be trying to make its way up. Gas production already started, but 15 drones in, and we still do not have a spawn. Oh, there it goes. Spawning pool making its way up finally, and we've got a orbital command and our first gas on the way for the Terran player. And Krazed completing the wall in and taking his SCV, starting to scout with it. So our Zerg players realized, alright, well, he's not in any of the other two places, so he's right across the road from me. And making his way across the map, gonna have a little peek to see what the Terran is up to. For our Zerg player, still just working on drones, spawning pools, and we see the mules coming down for the Terran player. If you can, always opt for the mules versus anything else coming out of that command center. It's going to save you a good chunk of, well, it's going to get you a good chunk of money. I think each mule is somewhere between 200 and 300 minerals income. So, good tip. And speaking of rather nasty things to do, our Zerg player is setting up an extractor at the Terran Natural. It's not really going to affect him in the short term, but long term when he goes to expand down there, it's just going to take him that extra little bit of time. Plus, when that building completes, it's going to give him just a tiny bit of vision over the area, so at least he knows when the Terran player is going to expand. So, I mean, just having a look. There we go. So, just having a look, you can see it's got him vision of most of that expansion. It's not going to let him know when anything's coming out of the base, but it is going to give him a good idea of whenever someone's doing something funny or trying to set up the expansion. So good on him to have a bit of a persistent scout so he knows how long he's got the expansion advantage if he sets up for an earlier expansion. So 2 spine crawlers on the way for a Zerg player, and finally Krazed is scouting inside of the base, taking a quick look. Both gas is up for a Zerg player, and little SCV doing its best to poke the crap out of that spine crawler. Unfortunately, I don't think it's quite going to be enough for him to drill into it. And we've got Lair and really quick Spire going up. So Spire hiding down here in the corner. And up goes the Spine Crawler, down goes the SCV. Second Spine Crawler is up. And Krazed just going about getting set up with the 2 barracks, 1 tech lab, 1 reactor. He's already researching stim packs. I believe... Yep, no, he doesn't have the nitro packs just yet for the Reapers, but he does have Reapers on the way. Another barracks being constructed. Reactor just about finished. And that Spire takes an agonizingly long time to complete. So no expansion, still going 1 base for both sides. Not a lot, well, no early harassment apart from just a little scout. So I guess these guys are just going to sit back, do a little bit of macroing up here. So I really like the way the Zerg player, Sean, has got these spine crawlers set up so that he can actually protect That should cover most of the mineral line for Sean, so that should do the trick there. Spire finally up, and we've got 5 Mutalisks on their way. Terran player just working away. Oh, and really good Reaper harassment, making their way up into the base, starting to bomb the Spire. They've got it down to half health, jumping out, back in, just going to keep bombing it to try and prevent any more fast Mutalisks from coming out. Are they going to jump? Nope. They're going to jump back down just to try and save themselves. Queen is up there. I think she's just waiting for the health, or for the energy to get the transfusion. It's not going to happen. Down goes the Spire, unfortunately. At what cost? And back at the Terran base, the Mutalisks are making their harassment on the mineral lines, so that's really going to destroy the Terran players' account. Just watch. So he's got good Marines in there, taking them out, but unfortunately not able to take out all 3 of them, so they're just going to continue decimating that mineral line. And you can watch the Terran income fall. So dropping down to 20, he's got absolutely nothing coming in anymore. Another Marine making his way in there, just trying to do what it can. It's not going to last long against 3 Mutalisks. Marauders just stand in the back like, nope, you ain't sending my ass in there. So just shelling away at the orbital command. I'm not sure what he's going to do to try and fix that. He is going to try and put up a missile turret. He's got a group of 4 Marines that should do it, especially with the stim pack. So just focusing down. And is that last one going to make it out? Run, little buddy, run! Into the smoke and out across the skies. So able to hold it off, but pretty much no income left. And our Zerg player is getting their first expansion going up, finally, rebuilding the Spire, which is now back up and running, and morphing into a lair. Or sorry, that's not morphing into a lair, that is already a lair. I'm smart. That would be the hatchery going up down here. Learn to read the production tab, noob. And still no attempts at an expansion for our Terran player Krazed, so he's just content sitting back in his base right now, getting a whole bunch of bio going up. And the creep tumors finally starting to make their way out across the map, or at least out of the base. So researching burrow for our Zerg player. Queen getting a little bit hung up there. More spine crawlers on the way. So Sean is really big on the static defense. And Krazed trying to get his economy back up. Actually, thanks to those mules, he is pretty much caught back up with the Zerg player, even though it's double the harvesters for the Zerg player. Although, Sean definitely has a lot more gas coming in versus the absolutely nothing for Krazed. So he's not worried about gas right now. He's got 459 sitting back, so he's got enough that if he wanted, he could train up a few more Marauders. But right now he's mostly worried about those Marines because, well, we just saw some really quick Mutalisks coming out. And finally going to push out just a little bit. And that's not close enough to be scouted by that extractor, so Sean has no idea that he's moved out, but he does have banelings on the way, and that is going to hurt if that ball of bio walks into it. So that is 11 banelings ready to go, and this is just a thing of beauty. They burrow to avoid getting taken out, and then boom. I'm not sure Krazed actually knew that the banelings could do that, detonate from underground, but that is a great tip for Zerg players. If you're worried about a bio ball walking into your front door, just set a minefield. You have to manually detonate them, but they can be used to devastating effect against a ball of Terran bio. So he is going to move a couple of spine crawlers down because, well, we got no air coming from Krazed just yet. It's a whole bunch of ground forces. So those should definitely help hold off any kind of an incoming ground attack. And let's look at the income with the second base. Zerg players starting to pull ahead. It's 22 to Sorry, 22 to 17 for the Harvesters. And they're about even on the gas because they finally got the second, first and second gas going back up to the Terran player. And now Zergy is starting to pull ahead in the minerals, so he's getting really good saturation for the income. And a bunch of Zerglings making their way down. And they're going to morph back into Banelings. That minefield was good enough. It worked once. Why can't it work again, right? So we got a grand total of 29 Marines for our Terran player. Where are they hiding? Up here, just to try and ward off any more incoming Mutalisk attacks. And really, it's just 1 Mutalisk and 12 Banelings for a Zerg player. So to be perfectly honest, a really good scanner suite and a frontal assault could probably do some huge damage down here. At the very least, they might be able to take out all those Banelings. And I'm pretty sure he could at least get the expansion if he were to push out now. So, no Marauders, still working off of 1 base. Income-wise, he's really starting to get dwarfed by that Zerg player. So Sean is doing pretty good on the income, but he doesn't have a lot of units. He's actually doing an interesting thing here, where he's waiting, seeing what way our Terran player is going to go. I mean, right now he's pretty much got enough where, as long as there's no scan, as long as there's nothing that sees the burrowed stuff, he's good to go. And because Krazed did not bother to take down the extractor at first, Sean knows that he is looking to expand right now. He can see that command center going up. Unfortunately, he can also see that extractor going down. Mutalisk is going to make its way across. It's going to run into a massive ball of Marines, and